It is me, Floor Troll, and I am showing you my 2024 TBR. So this is going to be every single physical book that I own, that lives in my home, that I have not read. This is a lot. The reason I'm on the floor is that it occupies the bottom 3 shelves on this bookshelf and the bottom 2 shelves on this bookshelf. I don't know why. It just does. That's where it lives. So I guess we just get stuck in. I'm not going to be giving any details about any of the books just because we do not have time. In terms of organisation, vaguely this shelf is organised in chronological order, and then this one is mostly paperbacks up top and hardbacks down the bottom, but the hardbacks stopped fitting, so there's a couple up here. I think that's it. I think that's any and all organisation that happens to exist. This is my hot water bottle. He doesn't have a name yet. If you want to name him, pop it in the comments. Let's dive in. Okay, first up I have the books that are on my January TBR. I haven't read any of them yet, so if you'd like to see my TBR video and me talk more about them, you can watch that up here. But we have A Fire Endless by Rebecca Ross, Smoke Gets in Your Eyes by Caitlin Doughty, Hagstorm by Victoria Williamson, London Falling by Paul Cornell, and Tam O'Shanter by Robert Burns as a graphic novel adapted by Richmond Clements and art by Inco. Then the only other books that I have that are exceptions are ones that are just kind of sat on the floor here. So this one is sat on the floor because it is huge, and that is Strata by William Smith and Robert McFarlane. This was a gift from my other half for Christmas. It is a load of geological maps. And then also on the floor are 2 unhelpfully wrapped books, because what I want to do is that advent calendar full of books for 2024, but that's very expensive to ask my other half to do it. So I've done it myself. I'm going to put books either that I've bought myself coming in each month, which won't be many, or books that are already on my TBR. I will be wrapping them up and then opening them as an advent thing. So this is The Gilded Crown. I'll pop the actual cover here. And then this one, cast by Isabel Wilkerson, which is a non-fiction. I'm now going to move you to the ground. We'll see how the lighting is. Well, now that's too low. Better. Okay. The Fates Divided by Veronica Roth, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms by George R.R. Martin, The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake, Carve the Mark by Veronica Roth, A Psalm of Storms and Silence by Roseanne A. Brown, Bad Magic by Derek Landy, PJ Holden and Matt Sophie, The Last White Man by Muhsin Hamid, The Girl in the Steel Corset by Katie The Severed Streets by Paul Cornell, The Pulcher and Citadel by Kate Moss, Open Water by Caleb Ozuma Nelson, Rizio by Denise Mina, Kirby Mangamania Volume 1 by Hirokazu Hikawa, Animal Crossing Deserted Island Diary Volume 3 by Kokonasu Rumba, Mio's Kingdom by Astrid Lindgren, Stories of Your Life and Other Stories by Ted Chiang, The Evercruel Kingdom by Rin Chapeko, The Witchfinder's Sister by Beth Underdown, Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Ames, Foundation by Mercedes Lackey, Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb, The Name of the Rose by Umberto Eco, The Eagle of the Ninth Chronicles by Rosemary Sutcliffe. The only book in this bind-up that I haven't read is The Lantern Bearers, 84K by Claire North, Bluebird by Cecile Piolo, Cold from the North by D.W. Ross, the first 4 books in the Earthsea series by Ursula K. Le Guin, Green Banks by Dorothy Whipple, Wassergrissen of Björn Bergenholtz, Winter of the World and Edge of Eternity, both by Ken Follett, Kim by Rudyard Kipling, A Conjuring of Light by V. Schwab, The Wolf Den by Elodie Harper, Mind Games by Terry Terry. I do have a book here by an author writing under another pseudonym. I don't like to mention them on my channel, I don't like to give them any support. For the reason why it's on my shelves, it was gifted to me by my mother-in-law, who wasn't aware of this author's intent. And my mother-in-law has since passed away, so this book has emotional significance for me, so I will read it one day. I won't feature it on the channel. Fire and Blood by George R.R. Martin, God's Grave and Dark Dawn by J. Christoph, The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness, The Bitter Trade by Piers Alexander, This Savage Song, A Gathering of Shadows, and The Dark Vault bind-up, which has the archived and the unbound, all by V.E. Schwab, The Toll by Neil Shusterman, The Devil in the Dark Water by Stuart Turton, Winterkeep by Kristin Cashore, Goldilocks by Laura Lamb, Nowhere on Earth by Nick Lake, The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winters, Kill the Father by Sandrone Dazieri, All Quiet on the Western Front by Eric Maria Remarque, A Man Called Ove by Frederick Bachman, Dreams of Gods and Monsters by Lainey Taylor, Planet Earth 2 by Stephen Moss, The Complete Novels of Jane Austen. I still need to read Mansfield Park and Emma, Wonders of the Solar System and the Universe by Brian Cox and Andrew Cohen, Witches Steeped in Gold by Shannon Smart, Scarlet by Genevieve Cogman, The Drowning by Ava Reed, We All Fall Down by Rose Zabo, Odin's Child by Siri Petterson, Silka's Journey by Heather Morris, The Sun's Devices by Rebecca Levine, 4 novels by Charles Dickens. I've read one of them in here, so it's just The Adventures of Oliver Twist, Great Expectations, and A Tale of Two Cities. Three Sisters by Heather Morris. Clariel, To Hold the Bridge, Across the Wall, and Ragwitch, all by Garth Nix. The Chase by Ava Glass. The Devil's Sea by Clive Cussler and Dirk Cussler. The Killer on the Wall by Emma Kavanagh. Empress Crowned in Red by Shannon Smart. Alias Grace by Margaret Atwood. Bitterly by Kristin Cashore. The Sudden Appearance of Hope by Claire North. American Monsters by Derek Landy. The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. A Storm of Swords, Blood and Gold, and A Clash of Kings, both by George R.R. Martin. Golden Hand by Garth Nix. Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo. Michael Tolliver Lives. Marianne in Autumn. Days of Anna Madrigal. Further Tales of the City, and Baby Cakes, all by Armistead Maupin. A Storm of Swords, Steel and Snow, and A Dance with Dragons After the Feast, both by George R.R. Martin. And A River Called Time by Cottia Newland. Is this side done? If you couldn't tell, none of these are actually with their other series. They're just shoved in where they fit. I have too many books. A Promised Land by Barack Obama. Norse Gods by Johan Egerkrans. Forces of Nature, The Women Who Changed Science by Leila McNeil and Anna Reza. The Battle Drum by Sarah El Arifi. Jane Austen and Charles Dickens, their complete novels in one sitting. William Shakespeare, the complete plays in one sitting. Love Sonnets of Shakespeare. All of these miniature ones are done by Running Press Minis. Agates of Lake Superior by Dan R. Lynch and Bob Lynch. And Another Thing by Owen Colfer. One by Peter Schmeichel. Walking the Bones of Britain by Christopher Somerville. Three Assassins by Kotaro Isaka. House of Marion by J.L. Regenesis by George Monbiot. Notes from Deep Time by Helen Gordon. Mindbreaker by Kate Dillon. 19th Christmas by James Patterson. A Restless Truth and A Power Unbound, both by Freya Marsk. The Hawking by Rebecca Zahavi. The Man in the Bunker by Rory Clements. The Valkyrie by Kate Hartfield. The Witches of Vardor by Anya Bergman. Ink Blood Sister Scribe by Emma Torts. A Memory Called Empire and A Desolation Called Peace, both by Arkady Martin. Dragon's Teeth and Thunderstones by Ken McNamara. The Memory of Animals by Claire Fuller. Ancient Egyptian Warfare by Ian Shaw, the Holy Bible Children's Edition. Thrust by Lydia Yuknovich. Fire and Ice by Natalie Starkey. Flame in the Mist by Renee Arrier. The Memory Eater by Rebecca Mahoney. The Immortality Thief by Tyron Hunt. Tertial and Eleanor by Garth Nix. Regeneration Ending the Climate Crisis in One Generation by Paul Hawken. The Gilda Stories by Jewel Gomez. Neue Schwung by Miel Mielkamps Tinking Vanya and You. D by Michael Faber. Flowers in the Attic by Virginia Andrews. If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. Maud Horton's Glorious Revenge by Lizzie Pook. The Luminaries and The Hunting Moon, both by Susan Dennard. What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez. The Life of Birds by David Attenborough. The Sirens of Sorrentum by Caroline Lawrence. Egyptian Myths and Legends, Viking Folk and Fairy Tales, and Scottish Folk and Fairy Tales, all edited by J.K. Jackson. The Appeal by Janice Hallett. A Feast for Crows by George R.R. Martin. Brit-ish by Afua Hirsch. The Almost Nearly Perfect People by Michael Booth. Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. A Thousand Nights by E.K. Johnson. Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. Little Lies by Samantha Schweblin. Washington Back by Ezzy Ejigan. Bullet Train by Kotaro Isaka. The Unbroken by C.L. Clarke. Unlawful Killings by Her Honour Wendy Joseph Casey. The History of the World in Bite-Sized Chunks by Emma Marriott. 7 Endless Forests by April Genevieve Tohoke. The Two Towers and the Return of the King in This Lord of the Ring bind-up by J.R.R. Tolkien. The Secret World of Weather by Tristan Gooley. We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faisal. Short Stories in Swedish by Ollie Richards. Malice by John Gwynne. A Winter's Promise by Christelle de Boss. Clara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro. And finally, The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. That is every single book on my physical TBR. I really hope I haven't missed any. I have not counted them yet. I will count them as/before I'm editing. So here is the number on screen. This is how many books I have on my physical TBR. Now, that will be less than some people, but for me, I would really like this to be smaller. Partly just so it fits on my shelves, but also so I don't feel so stressed by it. So yes, this is very, very big. Too big. If you've reached the end, I don't know what you're doing here. You must have had it on 2x speed, because Jesus Christ. But thank you for reaching it to the end if you have. I will be getting through, hopefully, half of these books in the rest of the year, so if you'd like to see what I do think of quite a few of these, then please do hit that subscribe button down below, and you can follow me along for this journey of trying to get through this damn massive stack of books. Thank you so much for watching, folks, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Bye!